Hey there. Thanks for checking out my channel. And this is my first video for this channel, Retirement with Raj. And I am going to share with you a few details about myself so that we can you can relate to me and you can put your comments down there so that I get an idea of what you're looking for from the channel. I am from India and I left India almost 30 years ago. Had a very brief stint in the Middle East and then went off to Europe, spent 4 or 5 years out there, I think 4 years in Europe. And then I migrated to Canada. And since then, I have been in Canada for almost 25 years now. I would say 22 or 25 years, something like that. It's been a while. Throughout my career, I have been in management roles, basically in financial sector, banking and financial services vertical, managing projects, technology projects. And I decided to retire early. I retired at 50 because I thought work-life balance is very important. And I found that as I kept on working, I was not enjoying what I was doing. And I don't have any kids, so my wife and I, we had a chat, and she graciously allowed me to retire early. So as soon as I turned 50, I just decided to stop working altogether. And then I tried a few things because retiring is, in my opinion, psychological as well as financial. So from the psychological perspective, I mean, from financial, I was not too worried because my wife was still working and she's doing excellent. She's in the top of her career, earning well, so that, we don't have to worry about money. But from a psychological point of view, something that I would like to tell anybody who is considering retirement is that right from the beginning, I mean, when you start thinking about retirement while you're still working, you got to figure out what is it that you like and what you would like to do. This is not as easy as it sounds because many times you visualize that you'll be happy doing something, but after you do that thing for a week, 10 days or a month, it loses its charm. And then you feel that you have nothing to do and you have the entire day with you. So I also discovered something like that when I retired. I was thinking I would like to do woodworking and I would really enjoy doing woodworking. So I bought tools and I have a nice house with a attached cabana, which I converted into my workshop. So I bought the customary table saw and stuff like that. And of course, I built a bed for our bedroom. I built a chest in which you could keep all those blankets and stuff like that. And I built a few more things like small tables and all. And then I lost my interest. I didn't like getting into the sawdust, and after a point of time, getting into the cabana seemed very, very demotivating, I would say, because it's all a mess. Pieces of wood lying here and some tools, and I was not very organized. I would not keep everything that I took back into the right places. And one of the reasons I went into woodworking was because in my job, throughout my career, I always dealt with the abstract. And to be honest, I never used any product that was created through my project management. So the business requirements was abstract and the delivery was also abstract and somebody else was working on it. So I always felt that if I could create something, imagine it and make it with my own hands, and I could touch and feel the finished product, it will give me satisfaction. And of course, don't get me wrong, it did give me a lot of satisfaction. But after a while, I mean, the charm went away. It lasted for full of 3 months. And then I started thinking seriously, what is it that I like? And I found that I like to meet people, I like to talk with people, I like to resolve conflicts and issues. So I thought that would take me into things like debt consolidation because I like finance a lot and I like budgeting and other things. Then I thought I could probably go and volunteer in a community center, and that way I would get to meet a lot of people. And at the same time, I also realized that we were investing in real estate, and that was part of our plan for retirement, that the rental income from our investment properties would help us to fund our retirement. So it so happened that at that time I had to get a new tenant and for one of our properties. And then I said, the right thing for me to do will be to merge my interest for doing something physical like woodworking, meeting people, and also managing my investments why not become a real estate broker? So I went and studied two sets of knowledge areas. The first one was I went for a 3-month full-time construction course. I wanted to learn how a house is constructed here, and I wanted to be able to evaluate a house when I see it from an investment perspective. How good is the house? How good are the finishings? Does it have adequate power supply? Do we have to replace the windows? And get a budget of how much I would have to spend to bring it up to grade. So I did that course first. It was a 3-month full-time course. And I learned a lot. I learned how to read blueprints. I learned how to put foundation. And with the class, we actually interpreted a blueprint and built the structure, did the drywalling, framing, tiling, wooden floor insulation, plumbing, electricals, everything. So I got a very good understanding, and then I went on to do the real estate salesperson course. It takes around a year or so to complete it in Toronto, and after that I continued my studies to become a broker. And what I do basically is help new immigrants who come to Canada to find their first accommodation, and then they come to me, and I help them buy their first house or a condo, and so on and so forth. In the process, I'm building a community out here, and I have a lot of satisfied clients who become friends, family friends. So it has been very rewarding. And since real estate dealing is not a full-time occupation, I had a lot of free time in my hand. And that's where I got into trouble, because I was doing a lot of day trading work in NASDAQ and Toronto Stock Exchange. So I always was complaining to my wife at the end of the year while filing for returns that there is so many entries out there. I have to do the profit and loss and then send off the spreadsheet to my chartered accountant. And many years at the end of all those trading, it would either be a loss or a marginal profit or a decent enough profit, but still not worth so many transactions. So after 2 or 3 years of this kind of activity, my wife said, you actually want to keep yourself busy, and you want to keep yourself busy in your own terms, and you want to be in a situation where you can choose whether to do something or not. And that's why you're doing this day trading. And then you're not focusing 100% on it, so you get all these kind of mixed results. So she suggested, why don't you start a investment channel on YouTube? And whenever you get thoughts about trading, talk about that to your audience, and trade only when you have 100% strong conviction. And I followed her advice, and ShareTrack Genomics was born. So 3 years ago, I started that channel. And since then, my trading has improved significantly, because I do only very strong conviction trades. And with very few trades, I'm making way more profits than I used to do before. So I'm really happy about that. And when I say very strong conviction, it means that while I'm going through my TradingView charting platform, looking at all the stocks in my watch list, taking in the news for the day, I really get the urge that I have to buy this stock right now, and it's going to go up the next 48 hours. And that's when I go and put the money into it. And also I've narrowed my focus. I'm just looking at a small segment of the market. I'm not spreading my attention all over the place. And in my investment channel, my audience has focused me entirely on gene technology companies. So from that gene technology companies, where I do in-depth study of the diseases and the way the therapy works, etc., came out a new channel called ShareTrack HIV. That's a separate channel, which is the best channel on the internet for anyone who is looking for information on HIV. So many people who were not interested in investment, they saw my take on two companies and their HIV therapies, and they kind of forced me to make more videos. So I got into that, and both of these channels are doing extremely well. So that brings me to what I'm doing right now, because I want the same kind of result for my retirement. And you'll say, Raj, you already retired. So let me define retirement. For me, retirement is doing what you want to do when you want to do, and just being able to walk away and go to sleep whenever you want, go to meet a friend whenever you want, or at a whim, just take your car, go out, have a cup of coffee, or just walk on the beach. Do whatever you like, or pick up the phone, talk to a friend. So those are the things I think is retirement. Retirement doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. You're doing something gainful. It could be for the society, it could be for yourself, or it could be for a limited clientele where you have a very small kind of venture where you bring all your experience that you have gathered during your working years, your soft skills and everything in order to solve a problem for a set of people. So that's what I call retirement. So that's my definition of retirement. I have been retired since the age of 50. I just turned 60. And my wife is a workaholic, I would say, because she's still going strong like the Energizer Bunny. And since she's still working with her employer, she doesn't want to come on the screen, but she has promised that as soon as she hangs up her boot, which would be in the next few years, she would join us, and she would also contribute. But everything I'm going to talk to you in this channel is a joint deliberation that we have had on most of the topics. And over the last 2 years, we have gone through a whole lot of destinations. We have examined Malta, we have examined the Canary Islands, we have examined Belize, we have examined the Dominican Republic and a lot of these Caribbean countries where people go for retirement. We have also examined India in detail. We have examined Mauritius, so there is a whole lot of places that we have examined very carefully from the point of view of retirement. So let me give you a bit of insight into my own situation. We are in Canada, we are in Toronto, and we have winters that are harsh, but of late, due to this climate change and all, the winters are not that harsh, but still, winters as you grow older are difficult on you because if you have any joint issues, they start acting up during winter. And also winter is a time when slip and fall happens very often. So that is the second reason. And during winter, most people stay indoors unless they are regular Canadians. Thoroughbred Canadians find a lot of things to do during winter, like they go skiing, they go cross-country skiing, then they also go for hockey games and stuff like that. They also go winter camping. So Canadians have a great time in Canada. When I say Canadians, I'm talking about thoroughbred Canadians who have been here for generations. Whereas people like us who have come in from India or the subcontinent or a warm weather and come here for career and economic prospects, by the time we come to our retirement, we say, you know what, I don't want to be in a cold environment during winters. So that brings us to various retirement options. One is what is called as snowbirding out here. In snowbirding, which even local Canadians do, people tend to just move off before winter to United States. They go to a warm location. Typically, many go to Florida, some go to Arizona, and few of them have places elsewhere in a warm location, which is cost effective from a Canadian perspective and at the same time warm. And then they spend the winter out there and come back here. Once winter is over, they spend the spring and summer out here, because Florida and Arizona, they become very hot during summers, and Toronto is very pleasant during summers. And most of these retirees also have cottages. So they go off to the cottages during the summer. They spend the springs in Toronto, go off to the cottages during the summer, and then pack off for the next winter. So this is how most Canadians do their retirement. I'm thinking that as an Indian, I have a big canvas. We Indians are very fortunate because unlike many immigrants to Canada, we have a wonderful country to go back to, and within the country we have wonderful locations to go back to, all the way from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. You have a wonderful range of geographical locales, the kind of cuisine that you like to have, the kind of temperature that you would like to be. So, I mean, I could consider Dehradun, or I could consider Shimla, or I could even look at Pondicherry, or maybe somewhere in Gujarat in a village. So the choice is abundant. So we have examined all of those choices as well. I have a spreadsheet in which myself and my wife, we have worked on our retirement planning. How much do you need to retire? How much money is needed? And that spreadsheet can be customized to your own expense patterns. So in this channel, we'll be talking about all those things, everything that we discovered about all these retirement destinations, the pros and the cons. And I also have friends who are in the same boat. some who have already taken the step and they already have a place in, let us say, Spain or Malta or somewhere in the Canary Islands, and you can talk to them and get their experience on how their retirement has been. Did it pan out the way they thought? And we could even have subsequent interviews with them based on the audience interest, to talk specifically about cost of living, to talk specifically about food and healthcare and insurance and various elements. So this is going to be your hub. And I'm also a bit selfish because I want to learn from you as well. So if I'm planning to retire somewhere and you already retired there, please feel free to join here and contribute to the rest of the diaspora and help them also to successfully retire. So please put your remarks in the comments so that we can get together, talk to each other, and find if you can feature in the channel to talk about your experiences of retiring either in India or elsewhere. And this is where we're going to build a community that I think would endure for me post-retirement as well. And maybe we could probably be neighbors in retirement, or maybe we could have an annual ritual in retirement where we all meet at a particular place on a particular day, year after year, and exchange notes. So a lot of fantastic possibilities are there. So please subscribe and hit the notify button and join this channel. And it's always going to be free. It's a place where the only currency of exchange is exchange of our experiences and knowledge about retirement. So with that, my friends, I'd like to bid farewell for today. I'll catch up with you again in the next video, probably by next week. So meanwhile, put all your comments here and let me know what you want to see in the subsequent videos. I'm thinking that in the next video, I'm going to talk about exit tax considerations, because even before you start identifying different locations where you want to go and retire, you have to consider where you live and what it is going to cost you to exit, because I assume most NRIs and OCIs already have citizenship in some country and you're tax resident in some country, and that country is going to take its pound of flesh. Like in Canada, we have exit tax. So your exit tax may be explicit or it could be implicit. So we need to examine those things. So I'm going to talk about the Canadian exit tax, and I'll also try to touch upon all the things that you need to look for in your tax domicile to find out if you have any exit taxes. So with that, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. See you in the next video, and I want to see the subscriber numbers tick up. So please subscribe. Take care. See you all later. Bye for now.